Good morning to everyone. At this time, I'll call the special virtual meeting of the Board of Aldermen to order. Please rise and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time, we'll have a roll call of the participants on the Board of Aldermen. John Inglaze. Present. Eric McPherson. Present. Chris Belmacy. Here. David Gudwani.
Present.
Stanley Kude. Here. Noreen McGordy. Noreen, are you on? Anthony Simonetti. Present. Bernie Simons.
Here.
Okay, so everyone is in attendance with the exception of Noreen McGordy. Myself, Mayor Mark Moretti. We have Assistant Corporation Counsel Tom Cotter. The Finance Director, Paul Hiller. Okay, so the first item on the agenda is funding for the purchase of a pickup truck for the maintenance department. So, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to appropriate an amount of $42,852 for the purchase of a pickup truck for the maintenance department, with funding to come from automatic bonding pursuant to section 7.16 of the city charter.
Second.
Motion is made by Alderman Inglaze, seconded by Anthony Simonetti. Discussion. This was a bid item. This is the first time new vehicle for the building maintenance department, in my memory. We have beefed up our staff a little bit, pretty good tradesmen, and
Hi, sorry, excuse me, guys. My call dropped. It's Noreen McGordy, present. Sorry for the interruption.
Okay, so let the record reflect that Noreen McGordy has just joined us, and Noreen, you're on the first one, the funding for the purchase of a pickup truck.
Great, thank you.
Are you settled now? Sounds like you're rolling around the floor at home, wherever you are.
I have a question on this pickup truck.
Go ahead.
The amount shown on the bid was $54,189.55. The amount you're asking us to approve is $42,852. What happened? Did Santa Claus arrive?
That is correct. I was gonna get to that, but, is that your question, Phil?
Yes, it was, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so the plow, the truck was bid with a new plow, and we don't need to have a new plow, even though it's a new truck. We have a plow already that will fit on that truck. And I think that we probably have a spare plow or two, that exists with the Parks Department and Public Works. So, I mean, plows we buy as we need them, if we can't repair them, or they're just worn out. So I just don't feel that it needs to be part of this bid price.
Thank you.
Any questions? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so we don't need a roll call because it was unanimous, 8-0. The next item is funding for additional improvements on city-owned property, 27 and 35 Old Town Road.
Move to approve an amount of $20,000 for additional improvements to city-owned property at 27 and 35 Old Town Road, with funding to come from automatic bonding pursuant to section 7.16 of the city charter. So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion is made by Alderman Inglaze and seconded by Alderman McPherson. For the record, I did attach several pictures of the work, that show the work being performed. Some of you may recall, this was the purchase of the Diskowski property, which is, and Jack, if I'm wrong, you can correct me, I want to say a 14-acre parcel in total. I think that's correct. You know, we bought it in 2 stages, and with that purchase of land also came a house that was, in badly need of updating, and renovating. I don't even want to begin to tell you what was inside of it when we took it, but it looks very different today. There is, a couple of other structures on the property that are in disrepair. They're the old chicken barns that existed, because it was, once upon a time, it was a farm. And so we'll deal with those at a later date, but I thought it was important to get this house rehabilitated and either probably subdivide and or sell that house, or lease it like we are doing with other properties that we own. This is not uncommon. 279 Southview Avenue is another example of a 14-acre piece that we bought that adjoins a couple hundred acres of open space, but it did have a house on it, and we had to do a rehab to that too. You will recall recently we just did a rehab on the Perry Hill property that I think came out fabulous, largely due to architect and mayor, Mark Loretti, but more importantly, the significant tradespeople that we now employ, a very talented group that, you know, we're doing a lot of this in-house. So, as we are with this Diskowski property, I wanted to take befores and afters so that the people, will see, you know, just exactly what we've done and why we spent this money. You should also know that one of the apartments on Perry Hill is rented now, and I'm in the process of renting the other one. So it will be a pretty significant income producing property. And Paul, I trust that those numbers are in the budget. Okay, anybody have any questions on the type of work that we're doing, to the extent that we're doing? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. It won't be necessary for a roll call vote because it was a unanimous decision, 8-0. Okay, takes us to our next item, and our most important item here today is the adoption of the budget for fiscal year 2021.
Move to approve the following resolution. Be it resolved by the Board of Aldermen of the City of Shelton, in accordance with Section 7.6 of the Charter, that the budget document submitted by the Mayor on April 21st, 2020, be adopted as the official budget and mill rate for the City of Shelton for fiscal year 2020-2021, resulting in a total budget of $128,182,039 for fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2020. The mill rate shall be established at 22.42 mills with a collection date for fiscal year 2020-2021 to be July 1, 2020 and July 1st, 2021 for real estate. July 1st, 2020 for personal property taxes less than $5,000, and July 1, 2020 and January 1, 2021 for personal property taxes equal to or greater than $5,000. And July 1st, 2020 for the motor vehicle tax, with the exception of those that carry their own collection date as determined by state statute under motor vehicle supplement. Any tax under $5 will be waived. Also, be it resolved that the Board of Aldermen accepts in principle the capital improvements program as submitted. So moved.
Second.
Motion is made by Alderman Anglais, seconded by Alderman Simonet. Discussion. Do you want me to start off, John, or do you,
Well, I just have a couple of comments that I want to make. Though pandemic conditions appear to be improving, we are still operating under emergency orders with uncertain fiscal expectations. As such, this is not a business-as-usual budget year. As the fiscal authority, we want to do what is right for everyone in our community, and we must proceed with caution, making financial decisions based on the best available economic information as it unfolds. At this point, revenues are grossly uncertain, and Board of Ed back-to-school plan needs are unknown. The mayor has recommended to start at least at last year's levels and build the budget as more is known. Finalizing and funding an uncertain plan would be a disservice to our entire community and adversely impact our major service providers, especially education. Given the city's precarious financial position, created largely by prior Board of Education spending decisions, we can ill afford to make a mistake going forward. Consequently, we will adopt the mayor's recommendations and go forward prepared to work closely with the Board of Education as requested by many education advocates who contacted us. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else before I weigh in? You know, it never ceases to amaze me, the commentary that comes with the budget process. I guess even in a time of a pandemic that has created not only financial uncertainty, but financial hardship, it does not move anybody. It does not allow them to consider other sectors of the community in terms of how money is being spent and where it should come from. There's been a couple of themes this year with this budget. One theme was they want transparency in the budget process. And so I've thought about that theme for a while. And I'm trying to understand what is it that they don't understand about transparency. When you have essentially the same document going forward for 2 years in a row, and yet you have people who are in the budget process making claims for transparency, I have to question their ability to be able to decipher that information. Transparency, you know, this board had allowed public comment for over a month to be submitted to City Hall, to the Board of Aldermen, to myself, via email, where people have had a long opportunity to collectively put their thoughts and express them to us. Look, I got to tell you, after 29 years, it is no secret or surprise to me that there are always education advocates out there that think that they should have more money and that they don't get enough. And we have a lousy school system. But that only exists at budget time. And then after that, we have a great system. And then I look back over these 29 years, how people who are making comments about educational spending, want to tell us how successful they are as Shelton High School graduates and Shelton School System graduates, and yet went through the same thing year after year, but yet had attained a level of success. Causes me some pause about the response that I should give them. And then the parents will say, our kids deserve better. Really? I think that our kids deserve role models who are respectful in how they communicate with other people. And our kids have gotten more today than the generation before them. And that it's been said several times by myself and President of our board, Alderman Anglaise, and I know it's even been said by some members of the Board of Education, that this budget process not end with the adoption of this budget. That things are going to change. We know this. We just don't know how much and when. And when those things change, as an example, when the state sends more money to localities for educational funding, and when the CARES Act kicks in and sends more federal money to local municipalities around the country, that money will be infused into the Board of Education budget. So things will change, and people have to be patient. And if they can't be patient, they're on their own. But for someone to say to me, our kids deserve better, I say to them, everybody has to be considered here, not just our kids. What about seniors who are on fixed incomes, living in their homes? Don't they count? Should we not consider them? You know, the increases to education are largely driven by salary increases. And I must call attention to this. Very specifically, our teachers are the 10th highest paid teachers in the state of Connecticut. The 10th highest paid teachers. Well, how'd that happen? Have we ignored them? Our buildings and our facilities are as fine as any other municipality in the state of Connecticut. Just go look at them. And then we can also share with everyone the kind of money that we spent in the last decade on our facilities. And we all agree those are the things that we should be doing, and we have. But it never seems to be enough for some people. And when they want to make these rude and derogatory comments, I am not moved by that. I am not moved at all by that. And I am not threatened by anyone's vote. When I've taken action on behalf of the city, it's with the consideration of every sector that lives and works here. And we've always done that. And if you don't think that our track record is pretty good, I would say to all these young parents that they need to take a closer look at what goes on in the rest of the world. If they think they're being so deprived here. We do what we say we do. We don't make false promises. But even in a time of pandemic, everybody has to do their share. Everybody has to contribute. It can't be, it's for the kids all the time. I heard this when my kids were in the school system. And I've also heard people say, well, if you don't invest in education, people are not going to move here. Your city's not going to prosper. Really? Take a closer look at the facts. And tell me how we haven't prospered. And tell me we haven't made investments in our educational system that have yielded dividends. But everyone has to do their part. Everyone. It's a pandemic. There are executive orders that prohibit us from doing certain things and allowing us to do them in different ways. So, to all these naysayers, I say, take a deep breath and be fair with the facts. Is there anyone else that would like to comment? Is there any discussion on the budget? I hope that I haven't misrepresented our board members' feelings when I say that this budget will change as time goes on. Modifications will be made. I hope you would agree with me. So with that, we will do all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? David Gidwani, are you opposed or are you in favor? David Gidwani, are you still on the line? I'll have to assume that there's one abstention. There were 7 in favor and 1 abstention. But if anyone would like me to do a roll call, I'm happy to do that. Motion carries. Okay, that concludes our items for the agenda today. At this time, I'll entertain a motion assume that it's